Good afternoon, guys. Today we're going to be reacting to Vince Vaughn drops truth bomb on Hollywood's dying agenda. It's not funny anymore. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that name right. Vince Vaughn Bogogan Bogan. I don't know. It's its video is made by Yellow Flash 2, and it'll be a link in the description to his video down in the description below. Let's get into this.
You guys remember when Hollywood was good, when people actually liked
No.
watching movies, TV shows?
Yeah, I actually do. Try to think what was my favorite movie. Like I have favorite movies. I really people didn't like that much, but I really loved Big Hero 6. That's always one of my favorites. But I can't think of like my favorite of all time. But like I can't think of any recent that are really that good. I liked Zootopia. I haven't watched Zootopia 2. I like The Bad Guys. I haven't watched the second one either. But I can't really think of like ones that like have like recently hit it like really hit a home run.
Late night shows, those used to be kind of popular, actually. But then they toned it all down and decided we're all just going to say the same things and have the same viewpoints. And if you don't like it, we don't need your business. Now, a few years later after that, everything is shutting down. People are getting laid off. Industries are absorbing one another. Paramount buying Warner Brothers is a great example of that. It's all shrinking. It's all dying down. And they have nobody to blame but themselves.
Let's see, like some companies, like if they all agree and preach the same thing, they think, oh, we can shift the market to our side. We can do whatever the fuck we want because there's no alternative. But there is an alternative. It's old content and companies that still don't bend the knee to what you want. Movies, series. If we talk about series, I watched Adventure Time from the beginning to the end. That was awesome. But Tonight Show and shit like that, I never really cared to watch that shit. It was okay, but it was nothing really I really cared for. And still don't care for it either.
And Vince Vaughn, going on the Theo Vaughn podcast, dropped a big old truth bomb. And I don't know if Hollywood is going to like what he had to say, because everything he said was 100% right. And we're going to...
Let's see. Vince Vaughn, late night comedy. Stopped being funny, became agenda driven, a fucking class I didn't want to take.
I'm going to go through it.
Ooh.
He talks about how, for example, all of these late night shows, they all sound the same. They're all pushing one agenda, and they're all preaching instead of entertaining. They stopped being funny, and they started feeling like a lecture and like you're sitting in a classroom, and that's not where you go for comedy, and that's why they're all failing. Even though they try to blame Trump and all these other things.
A lot of people try to always blame Trump, but the reality is it has nothing to do with Trump. In the majority of the time, it has nothing to do with him. They just want to blame him because his views go against theirs. So it's just easier to say, oh, it's his fault. It's his fault. Everyone's like this. His fault that our show's getting canceled. It's his fault that nobody likes us. When the reality is, it's not his fault. People have felt this way before he was in office, but y'all just ignored it then too. The only difference is now he's in office and you choose not to ignore it and blame him because there's somebody you feel like you can blame now that's in office. You notice how like they didn't blame Biden or anything like that shit. I don't recall them blaming Biden or anything like that when Biden was in office. When like people were talking against this shit and like shit didn't go their way. Still tried to blame Trump.
Bottom line is they're boring and nobody wants to watch it anymore unless they're already hyper politicized one way, the only acceptable way for these people. And guess what? You're not going to grow that way, and you're not going to make money, especially with the budgets they have. They need a lot of it. And it's been really funny to watch Colbert melt down all year over it. And I got to say, if all of that stuff with Jimmy Kimmel hadn't have happened last year, they would have already canceled him too, but they did.
I forgot what he did. He said something fuck. He did. I remember now. I don't remember exactly what he said. I remember he said something fucked, and they canceled him and then brought him back. Like it's gonna be temporary because like the backlash. And then he's like, "Oh, we don't want to actually fire him because then we're giving in to like the audience, the majority audience, by the way." And then they brought him back and then lost a lot of their audience. I want to say like I don't want to say a significant sum, but it was definitely a notable sum like that left and stopped watching.
And they probably are going to keep him around for another year so they can't come off looking like they canceled him over free speech, which was never the thing. It's the fact that the show just is not profitable. So here's the deal. Vince Vaughn, 100% correct here. Especially when he talks about how comedy should have no limits. Everything should be.
I can't remember what he said. I can't remember if it was that how bad it was. I think comedy shouldn't. Yeah, I'd say comedy shouldn't really have a limit. I guess. I guess that's where he's going with it. Because if you think about it, if you go back and look at some of the older cartoons, and like during the World War II, Looney Tunes were making jokes. That if you did them now, today, you would be canceled. You would be bullied off the air by these activists. The majority of people actually probably find it pretty funny. But the activists are like, "Oh, I'm offended. I'm offended. Like, you can't do that because that guy was horrible, or he did this, or he did that." I'm like, it's a joke. It's a joke, honey. Learn to take a joke. But, no, people are not really able to take a joke that well anymore. It's a real shame.
Fair game. And I really do honestly believe that's why you're seeing a lot of people hyped up about Scary Movie 6.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it kind of looks like nothing's going to be off limits. I think that really resonated with people, and I think that there are people out there.
I'm looking forward to Scary Movie 6 to the point where like I've never even watched any of the Scary Movies. I'm going to go watch this one. When this like payday comes around, this goes in the theaters. Motherfucker, the first thing I'm doing, get out of work, and I'm going to see Scary Movie 6. Cause this shit looks like it's gonna be funny. Like they're pulling out all the stops. They're not going to have an agenda. Try not to have an agenda. They're gonna make fun of both sides, which is something I wish people would do, but they don't like to. They look. They like to make like we got both. I'm about to say amount of subscribers. They have both sides that will always like make fun of the other side, but they won't make fun of their own side. And that's a mistake. If you make fun of one side, I think you should make a joke about both sides. Because it's honestly funny. It's entertaining. I'm like, I can laugh at my my beliefs, like some of the people, like the stereotypes of like people on the Republican side. They're stereotypes. They're on both sides. Some of them are true, some of them are not. But like they can be made a joke can be made about them. And like you don't have to be so serious about it. But a lot of people like to be serious about it. That includes right-leaning people too, as well as left-leaning.
Hungry for real comedy. They're hungry for real comedy. And this looks like something that's going to deliver. That's why you see a positive 214,000 upvotes to 3.9 thousand downvotes. That's the modern audience right there, that 3.9 thousand. In fact, this was moving.
Look at that ratio. 3.9 thousand people disliked. What, did you think y'all are going to be the majority that dislike this trailer? What, because you got Billie Eilish on your side? Dude, Billie Eilish is like, she is very politically driven. But not for the right reasons. She's politically driven because she wants to look good. She wants to be like, preach the right thing, is my opinion. I don't believe she believes anything she fucking says. I believe she's just trying to be a right thing. so she can stay relevant. That is my belief. I have no facts to prove that. It's just my belief, and I will share my belief on that. Test 1, 2, 3. Okay, my mic's still working. Good. I was scared for a second there. But like, yeah, I'm looking forward to this.
So fast to the algorithm, they flagged it. They flagged it as adult content and got it age restricted, which is one of the first times I've seen that happen to a trailer. That doesn't even happen to red band trailers, which are 18 and up and have swear words and violence in them. Somehow this one got hit with that, though.
A fucking agenda, man. People like falsely reporting it, and then you got YouTube's AI. Hell, they might even had a real person review it, is the worst part. But that real person decided, like, you know what? This goes against what I believe, so I'm gonna flag this. It's fucking, it's ass. I have no proof on that like part where a real person reviewed it, but I'm gonna assume the AI reviewed it, and because so many reports came in, the AI is more likely the one that flagged it and age restricted it, because the AI is ass.
I find that funny. So there was a lot of meltdowns over this, just like there's probably going to be meltdowns over what Vince Vaughn says on that podcast, and we're going to go over it right now. Let's take a listen.
Why a lot of the late shows have struggled. Because all they did during the only person they could make fun of at a certain point was just like white redneck kind of people, and it fucking tanked, and then everything tanked after that.
Think about that. But see, they never get it right.
It's funny to make fun of redneck people, and like honestly, I live in Texas. You'll see a couple rednecks. What we call a redneck down here in Texas is a guy that drinks a lot of beer, and his neck, like, I think it was like his neck would turn red, like if you drink so much beer. And we had used to live in a trailer park. This motherfucker, he was a redneck. Oh my fucking god, he had a redneck, and he would be drinking at all hours of the day, working. Sometimes working. Let me reinstate that. Sometimes working. We had to harass the fuck out of him sometimes to get him to come in and fix some shit. And the only reason he had that job was because the guy that owned the property was a friend of his. It was annoying, man.
The podcasts have gotten so much more popular with less production, less writers, less staff. And the reason why
we have two people working here, and both of them are hungover. And one guy has shingles.
But
that's 100% correct what he's saying there. Podcasts have taken over. In fact, you're seeing a lot of people in the...
like, I don't even listen to podcasts. I don't really like podcasts. I listen to the Misfits podcast, though, because, like, they make me fucking laugh, because they got some funny-ass stories. But even then they started running out of stories, and it kind of got boring. So I stopped listening.
Mainstream now try to go to podcasting. There's been a lot of push for these corporate podcasters. They're trying to take this scene over as well. It's not going to happen, because what he's going to get into here is the fact that these people are authentic. And you can run these for practically nothing. It really doesn't cost me very much money to do what I'm doing. This is why you're seeing all of these.
I'll be real with you. I will tell you what I am thinking. My opinion is, what I'm thinking, I will tell you it. I will word it very poorly. I will not deny that. I normally word stuff very poorly. But I will tell you exactly what I'm thinking at the moment. And if I think I'm wording it poorly, I will try to reword it the best I can. But I have no ill intentions towards anybody or anything like that. Or any bad intentions. Hickory, you better be nice to that puppy. But it's like, I like to be honest. I like to be open. And if you disagree with me, that is completely okay. Anyone that disagrees with me, that is completely fine. I even did a stream the other day and had a nice conversation with somebody who I disagreed with. He is a left-leaning and I am right-leaning. But yet we could sit there and have a civilized conversation and like talk about it. And I respect the hell out of him for that. And that's really based. Now, I might even do a stream after this, recording. But y'all won't know because it'll probably be Tuesday.
Like people that are becoming content creators blow up. I mean, I can think of some really good examples. Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic. Look at what Eric July's doing with the Rippaverse. You know, all of these people are blowing up because people are hungry for comic books. They're hungry, for authentic reviewers. They're hungry for sincere people that have conversations, which is why you see all of these podcasts blow up, and a lot of them are really funny. This is one of the biggest reasons why Hollywood's in trouble, but it's really funny. YouTube is going out of its way to try to be the biggest Hollywood streaming platform, which is
We need competition for YouTube, like a competitor against YouTube. I would very much like to see that. If I had the money, I would fund it myself, but I'm poor and unknowledgeable on how to do shit like that. But if we got a competitor, an honest competitor that was real about everything, that'd be amazing. Somebody like that stops all the censorship. But who knows?
crazy, because I would argue that YouTube would be 4 times the size it is already right now if it was actually, good at promoting its creators and letting the trending tab be organic, which it isn't. There's nothing organic about it, which is why you always see all these late night talk show clips trend. Nobody actually gives a shit about any of that stuff. It's because YouTube pushes it so hard. Nobody gives a shit. That's why those platforms are dying. People like authenticity. They like people that are real. And nobody is real in Hollywood.
The place is clean. I like that. You keep a clean place.
Thank you. Yeah, we did a vacuum.
But yeah, because people want authenticity.
Yeah.
And I think that
100%.
the talk shows,
People respect the hell out of authenticity.
to a large part, became really agenda based.
Yeah.
They were going to evangelical people to what they thought. You know what I mean? And so people just rejected it because it didn't feel authentic. It felt like they had an agenda.
And they do. All they talk about is Trump. The Trump. And whether you like him or hate him, it gets boring after the 9 millionth Trump joke.
See, that's something I get sick of. When I watch a stream or I listen to somebody's other opinion, they always, and I mean like always, I'm not trying to be sarcastic or anything, always say it's Trump's fault or something, like mentions Trump in like some kind of bad way, saying, oh, it's his fault. I'm like, how? And then they'll give me a stupid reason. I can't think of one off the top of my head. But they'll give me a stupid reasoning for it. And I'll ask, if you ask for more details, they'll like most of the time they'll hit a brick wall and like they won't know off the top of their head. And I'm not going to say they're lying or don't know for sure. I'm just saying it's something you probably should look into yourself. I'm not saying don't talk about it before looking into it, but I'm saying look into it. Don't get mad if somebody question. Oh, my mic was turned down. Don't get mad if somebody question you about it. Like if somebody's questioning you about your belief and all that. I'm like, if you can't back it up, I'm like, that's fine. And like, if you want to stick with your belief, that's fine. But if somebody questions you about your belief and you can't back it up, like maybe look into it a little bit more. See if there's like any articles or any like research on this to see like just educate yourself a little bit more. I know I need to do that more often, but I ain't gonna lie here. I ain't gonna sit here and lie to you. I'm busy most of the time. I work a full-time job, and like if I'm lucky, I get Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off. And like honestly, I just don't sit here and think, oh, I want to research my entire weekend away on what's like politically correct and all that, and what's correct and what's factual. I like to rest. I make these videos because I find them fun. I will share my opinion, and I go by most of any research I do is like either it's like tweeted on X or it's on YouTube. And sometimes if I really want to know more about it, I'll actually will go look up an article and read more about it. If it intrigues me.
It gets boring. It's not funny. Make fun of something else. It's very clear that there are groups of people that are off limits. There are topics that are off limits.
Yeah.
Nothing should be off limits in comedy. There are things that are off limits in any production, dramas, action movies. Does not matter. Does not matter. Everything has limits now in Hollywood. No topics outside of what they want are allowed to happen. And it's part of the reason why Hollywood has been dying. It's a huge reason why. He says so much right stuff in here that goes beyond the topic of what they're talking about with the late night shows.
It stopped being funny, and it started feeling like I was in fucking a class I didn't want to take. But if you
Now, that is such a good point there, what he's talking about, how you're in a class. Comedies, modern comedies, feel like lectures. In fact, most of Hollywood feels like a lecture. And they're doing it right now. Marvel is doing it again.
Yeah.
I was reading some stuff about Daredevil Season 2, which I haven't watched yet, so if this is wrong, give me a little leeway. I haven't watched it, but I was.
I've only watched, I think, like 2 series released from like DC. I ain't watched any Marvel series, I don't think. Only like DC. I've watched like The Flash up to like season 4, I think it was, and Green Arrow, which I think went all the way. I went to like halfway through season 2, and then kind of lost interest.
I was reading an article talking about how the whole season is about Trump and ICE. That's not what I'm looking for.
I hope that is false, because that would be the most dog shit thing. That would be a suicide for your career and your franchise.
I don't want to see that. And it makes all this shit outdated so quickly, because in 10 years, is that still going to be a relevant thing to talk about?
Nope.
How
More
about
likely
we just have a good show?
Look at what happened to the talk shows and why their ratings are low. It's got only to do with the fact of what you just said, which is they all became the same show.
Yeah. And it's more than just the late night shows. Everything in Hollywood is like that. This is why they have to reach out now and start adapting anime, because nobody is interested in any of this shit anymore, and so many franchises have died here because they're all the same. They all have the same talking points. They won't touch anything outside of anything that they find too conservative or right-wing. They don't talk about that at all. They just all agree, demonize that, prop up the left. It's everything in Hollywood because they keep failing upward. They never fire these people, and all these people are radical liberals, and it does not matter. They can piss away as much money as they want. They fail upwards. We see it time and time again. It just happened recently with that woman who was hired to write James Gunn's Batman. She had multiple projects fail. Guess what? She got promoted to one of the top characters in comic books. Spider-Man and Batman sell consistently no matter what. I really wonder how bad that movie is going to be now, because everything she touches is shit.
And they all became so about their politics and who's good and who's bad. And it's
I think when it comes to movies and series, you need to separate the politics you have from modern day. And like have somebody who is actually looking at the justice system and apply it to their comics, but at the same time not. Because at the end of the day, vigilantism is against the law, if I'm not mistaken. You can't just go out and beat up a criminal. That's illegal. That's assault. So, trying to say like, oh, they would fight ICE. I'm like, that's not how this would go. Because ICE is law enforcement deporting illegal immigrants, which is people who cross the border illegally and come here illegally to either a lot of the time, or I'm gonna say a lot of the time, to do illegal crimes. Some people say like, oh, they're here for a better life. I'm like, yeah, maybe they are, and I can respect that. But here's why I can't. They come here illegally. They have fucked themselves, because people who know they're here illegally are not going to do them right. They're going to pay them under the table, so which means they can pay them whatever the fuck they feel like, and they can't do anything about it. They could even stiff them on their check, and then what you going to do about it? What, you going to report it? You going to report it? You really going to report it? And then they're going to look into you, and they're going to find out you're here illegally. Then guess what? You go your ass right back to Mexico. They might, if you're lucky, still make the guy pay you, but your ass is still going right back to Mexico, or wherever you came from. It's like, it's fucked. You're not doing yourself a service. You're fucking yourself. People here are not kind, and they're not good. They do not... I say some people are not kind, some people are not good. Come here legally, and you can have like citizenship or a green card or a work visa, work here legally, and you get paid and you're protected.
like, imagine sitting next to someone like that on a fucking plane.
Oh,
Bro, you'd be like, how do I get out of this fucking seat?
I would fart right next to him.
Holy cow.
What the fuck? Yo, fart man?
Fart
What
your
the
way out of
fuck?
it.
Yeah, dude, I would. Oh, I would for sure.
Yeah, oh, they're all the lively ones at the party, right? Everyone wants to hang out with them. No. All these people are insane. They're all out of touch. They don't understand anybody out of their Starbucks ivory towers. They look down on everybody that is in their little group. They think everybody is stupid.
Yep. How it
That's why
goes.
they're all tuning out. But yeah, he nailed it. And we need more of this. More people need to speak out. More people need to talk about this. Ryan Gosling went viral talking about it, talking about how it's not the fans' job to save theaters. Hollywood needs to make movies worth seeing. And look what happened. You know, this movie that he's in, it is blowing up, breaking records. Project Hail Mary is going to be huge. I wouldn't be surprised if it makes over $1 billion. Which means Hollywood is now going to start trying to jump all over sci-fi. You're going to see
Ryan Gosling tells fans it's not their job to save theaters. Hollywood needs to make movies worth seeing. They do. Like, really, they do. Like, you want my money for me to go see your shit movie? Well, maybe make your movie actually look appealing and not shit, and I'll go see it. Hell, I'll buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. I even buy it digital. You say, oh, I'm not going to buy it on streaming service. I'm like, it better be a good damn movie, though, if you want me to even think about getting a subscription to watch it just a second time. But, like, if it's not, and you're just releasing dog shit after dog shit, and that includes series after dog shit locked behind a subscription, I'm not going to give you money just to watch dog shit.
ass loads of sci-fi movies now on TV and in Hollywood productions for movies. That doesn't mean they're going to be good. Most of them will probably be garbage. Bringing up the same garbage people who've wrote nothing but political garbage over the 5 years because they refuse to fire them.
They need to fire them.
So, you know, he's right. It's not up to the fans. It's up to Hollywood, and they've shown no interest in changing. Like, they are going to go down with this ship. Now, there's been some stuff out there that's good, and some stuff is trying to change, but they tone it down now to just be completely neutral. There's nothing wrong, you know. It wouldn't be such a big deal with, you know, some shows that are more liberal driven if they would do some shows that were at least conservative driven. But you got to go outside of the mainstream to find those. You have to go to independent studios. And there's so much evidence that there's a hunger for that kind of stuff. Look at The Chosen. The Chosen is one of the biggest shows out there right now. And you would think that would be an eye-opener. But no, it gets completely ignored. I don't even see a lot of press cover that. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about what he had to say there. What are your thoughts?
I think it's a pretty good informative video. You guys should check him out. Again, he is Yellow Flash 2. He's really good. Like, I watch this guy a lot. He's pretty informative. And he'll always share his opinion. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Hope you'll have a great day. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe for content, because I upload 3 times a week. And I'll catch y'all next time.